Having heard from the regulator, I would like to welcome our next speaker, Xavi Muñoz, who is partner at ECIJA law firm, the host of today, and one of Spain's leading gambling lawyers. Xavi is here to provide us with a quick update on the regulatory situation in Spain's online gambling market. And Xavi, the stage is yours in your own office here. Thank you very much.
How are you?
Okay. Buenos días a todos. Good morning, everyone. Okay, first of all, thanks for Gaming in Spain, basically William and his team. It's an honor to host it here, and we're very happy about it. And I've always liked this conference because it's a mixture of operators that come from the land-based and also online operators, and also national Spanish operators and international. So I think it's a good group of people. The fact of doing it in English also, I think it's it's good, especially for international operators. So I think it's good, and it shows also a bit the way the market goes, as we will discuss. And it's a bit difficult in the agenda. I'm supposed to do the regulatory update, but it's a bit difficult to do a regulatory update after the regulator. Okay, that's I think it's when I saw it, I was like, okay, let's see what I can do. But definitely, I'm not going to talk much about algorithm advertising and single deposit. Just some little things. Okay, some of these measures may be a bit scary sometimes, but okay, we'll see how it's implemented and how it works in regards to the algorithm. Then on the advertising, for those that maybe you're not so familiar with the Spanish market, I mean, the conclusion more or less from what Mikel Arana said. And also, I would like to thank him for coming and explaining in first hand and in first person how the algorithm is going to work. I think it's very good that whether operators like it or not, I think it's very good that the regulator comes and explains how it is going to work. It's very helpful, and it also facilitates our work with all these questions. You know, when is this going to happen? What is going to take into account? So from this regard, thanks for coming. That's very useful. Then in terms of advertising, the issue is, after the Supreme Court turned down the articles on advertising, now the intention is to include this in a new law, which is about customer service. When this is going to happen, it's uncertain. Basically, also that the situation of the Spanish government at this moment, it's not very clear still. It's not very clear in general. So, well, we don't know really when this law is going to pass and when these advertising, let's say, restrictions will be reinstated. Okay, so this is one thing. And then on the single deposit, as most of you probably know, the intention is about having a single deposit controlled by the regulator with the limits integrated with all operators, so just everyone knows. But I'm not going to extend too much on that because I think already the regulatory part it's done so far. So I'm going to talk about some other things. Well, some recent things, which is last week the DGOG published the program on gambling for 2026 and 2030. I think that's an interesting document in regards to safe gambling. It includes many measures. Some of the measures are of interest. Some of the measures are about social networks, how to control more on social networks. There's some measures on artificial intelligence, which can be also of interest. There's some other measures on the algorithm, of course, reporting on how the algorithm will be for the next semester of next year. Some others on the outcome and the impact of the Royal Decree on advertising and the Royal Decree on safe gambling. So there is a list, I think, of about 30 measures or something like this, but some of them are definitely of interest. For those that are involving gaming, not like video gaming, not gambling, there's also some measures on loot boxes and how this would be considered. So we think it's a relevant document, just published last week. But okay, just to mention it, I'm not going to stand on it because it's quite a long document. By the way, also J Digital opened a process to gather comments that any operator wants to do to this document, and I think the deadline is in September, around 16th September or 19th September. So there's a period that operators can file their comments, so that's a good thing. And then on another topic, and also in relation to these conferences, well, I wanted to mention how we see a little bit the market, being lawyers and working with different operators from different types. And what we see, of course, it's huge internationalization, and that's why this year also, Willem proposes to mix it a bit more with Latin America, which we think makes a lot of sense for Spain to make this bridge with Latin America, and that's the reason why in the conference we included more content on that. And this also, a few weeks ago, there was the announcement of CIRSA of going on an IPO in the Spanish stock market. And I've been reading the announcement, and also it confirms somehow, the way we decided on the conference, because basically what CIRSA is saying is in terms of their strategy for growth. Of course, they're going to the stock market and they have to sell their product, okay? But so everything is very positive in the announcement. But basically, the announcement for growth is it has various axes, and it's first growth of their existing. I mean, CIRSA, for those that maybe don't know CIRSA, it's a company with a turnover over 2,000 million euros, and it's probably the biggest Spanish company in gambling, with land-based online slots, basically. So lots of casinos, lots of gaming halls, lots of online, and lots of slots. And present in about 13 countries, out of which like 7 of those are in Latin America: Mexico, Panama, República Dominicana, well, many others in Colombia, etc. So basically what they said is their growth is existing business. Okay, this makes sense. Then second one was expansion into LATAM and growth into LATAM as an emerging market. So this is the perspective of a Spanish international company. Third axis was online, the growth on the online. At the moment for this, the online is 22% of their income revenues at the moment. So this is pretty, it's a lot for a company that was already pretty big, that turnover is over 2,000 million euros. So the third axis for growth is online, and the fourth one is omni-channel, which is offline and online, and all the channels. Okay, so that's why I mentioned that I think these conferences are nice because it also includes a bit of everything. So this is an interesting view. This announcement is an interesting view of the market as well. Then another topic I wanted to discuss about is. AI. There are going to be some, of course, we need to talk about AI because otherwise it would not be an important conference. And more people later will talk about AI. Of course, it's very important. But on AI, and from the regulatory legal side, it's just to mention that it's not free AI. I mean, the AI Act and a lot of compliance related to AI. So, and many of those obligations are coming into place. So all those companies that have their own AI systems or deploy systems from others, they need to comply with the AI Act. It's not just, okay, we're going to using this AI, the other AI, but you need to comply with the regulatory issues on AI. So it's the only issue I want to mention, but this will be more developed. And then there's another matter, also not very long, that it's on, well, the typical one, which is compliance also that will be discussed. But on compliance, what I wanted to mention is to link this a little bit with banks. We always have a problem with banks, gambling operators, not only in Spain, but everywhere. And actually, when organizing the conferences, we wanted to bring some bank to do some breakout session, BBVA or Santander or some other banks, basically to see how the sector can do better to have a better relation with banks, okay? And what could operators basically, and that's why I mentioned this in the compliance area. How could operators work better with banks so that their risk departments feel more comfortable, because I mean, we face this problem very often. It's difficult when new operators come, or even existing operators, the relation with banks are difficult to open bank accounts, to manage, etc. For us, there's like 1-2 banks that we can work with. That's not a very interesting offer for the market. I mean, you're very restricted and also have to follow the rules. So it's in the interest of the banks to have a better relation with operators, but especially in the interest of the operators to have a good relation with banks. And I think in the interest of the regulator and Jota Digital and the interest of everyone. But okay, in any case, we'll try next year with more time. Maybe if we can bring some bank in some breakout session and tell us, okay, what do you want from us? How can we make it better? And I think that's interesting. And then last but well, not least, we also like to mention about the fines from the DGOG, and we have the DGOG here, and the fining procedures. About more than 2 years ago, the DGOG did something that we think is very important, that published the fines and also from which articles are each fine. We follow a track record on this, and like have an Excel spreadsheet to see exactly, you know, because for us it's like the jurisprudence of the gambling sector. Where can you get a fine and what is more, and that's quite interesting. Actually, I had here a little bit, you know, what are the areas that of fines, the more typical ones, and I mentioned this because this is online in the website, and it's updated until October last year. And you can see a little bit what are the areas, you know, like more inspection and more fines, or where operators fail more. I don't know. So basically, there's like 46 on illegal gambling. Okay, illegal gambling, it's a bit difficult because some of these fines, you know, they get a big fine, but they don't pay it, basically, many of them, okay, because they are away, abroad, and it's very difficult. So there's 46, but it's true that, well, of course, it's good to fight against that, but sometimes, well, maybe it's efficient in the way that they don't pay it, but they stop their activity. So that's good also. There's 28, maybe some more now because there's some months that I think it's not updated here, but in the area of advertising, then another area, it's also advertising, well, with the previous, or with the existing one. With the articles or without the articles about advertising, some of those. Another area is about persons banned from playing from the Regiat. There's another area with a lot of bans. It's the third one. The other one is the organization of illegal lotteries. The other one is a breach of technical requirements and technical systems and homologation. I think this is a very important one because, you know, we face, you know, in our day-to-day work, you know, all the issues about essential changes in platforms or new games of any type. I mean, maybe the type of games that change more is slots, that operators have many of those. So, yeah, I mean, many of these fines are because of not managing properly processes of essential changes. So that's you know, an important one. Actually, talking about the slots, one of the measures that I mentioned on the program of the DGOG for the next years is also the design of the mechanism on the slots, and this is an important one as well because there's a measure looking into that, and for those that create the slots, I think this is a measure that is of importance to them to start designing in the right direction. So basically, that's it, and thank again to the organization, and if anyone has any questions, happy to try to respond it.
Yes. Thank you from your overview, Xavi. I think there's a few questions we saw coming in from the audience. First question here, Xavi, what measure currently in the pipeline do you think will be the most impactful for operators?
Well, I think the algorithm. I think when the algorithm comes into place, I think that would be the one that will have the biggest impact. Of course, you know, when the advertising restrictions come back into place, if they come back into place at some point, which I think it will take quite long. But yeah, I would say the algorithm and the advertising restrictions.
Great, thank you. Thank you. I think we have a second question. We can have the second question, please. There's no second question.
Okay.
Any question from the room, maybe? Quick one, no. Then, Xavi, thank you very much for hosting us and for speaking to us. Thank you.